Chapter 81 Questioning Qin Ming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dugu Yen was not afraid at all, walked up to Qin Ming, raised her head and said, Lingling is an auxiliary soul master. Even if she runs every day, she cannot be faster than other fighting soul masters. Even if she is short on speed, she still can't run away from Sure brother. Teacher Qin, I don't understand the point of you coming up with these training methods. Every soul master has his own strengths and weaknesses. Lingling's healing ability is beyond the reach of ordinary people. With such advantages, why should she focus on her weaknesses? It's a waste of time. Qin Ming had not considered all this. He attributes his current achievements to Shrek Academy's novel training methods and Dean Flender's sincere teachings. He had never thought that his cultivation was achieved by relying on the resources of Tiando Royal Academy. He never thought that different training plans should be developed for different types of soul masters, judging from the situation of team spirit fighting. When the auxiliary spirit master needs to consider his own safety, then the defeat of this spirit fighting is almost certain, but Qin Ming didn't know himself and thought it was because someone was lazy during training. Yanzi, are you questioning the teacher? Qin Ming's face was ugly, and there seemed to be anger burning in his eyes. Qitian walked to Dugu Yen and stood side by side with her. Teacher Qin, as a teacher, shouldn't you accept doubts from others? Questioning is to urge everyone to make better progress. If you talk about it, then this team is probably not far away from falling apart. There is nothing wrong with running with a basket on your back, but we are a whole, shouldn't we help each other? If everyone only cares about themselves, wouldn't it mean that in the future, we will fight on our own in the team spirit battle? Yu Tianheng also felt that what Qitian and Dugu Yen said made sense. He no longer stopped Dugu Yen, but instead analyzed Qin Ming's training method to see if it was correct. Seeing that the doubts were getting stronger and stronger, Qin Ming had already scolded everyone in his heart, but facing these noble children, he did not dare to offend everyone. Since everyone doesn't agree with the running method, we won't use it from now on. Starting from tomorrow, every afternoon training will be changed to free competition and martial arts training. Qin Ming's rhetoric seemed to be a compromise, but in fact it was a way to force everyone to submit. Since Teacher Qin has made a concession, let him let this matter go. Let's take a rest for a while. Later we will rush to the Great Soul Fighting Field to start today's special training. Yu Tianheng, as the captain, stood up and said, Mansion somewhere in Tiando City. Xuebeng rushed into the back room and shouted loudly, Uncle Emperor, are you here, Uncle Emperor? Hearing the familiar voice, Xueshing, who was about to do something nefarious, suddenly lost interest. He pushed the maid next to him to the ground, packed up his clothes, and walked out of the study. Banger, how many times have I told you not to come to me all the time while you are in the academy? Xueshing reprimanded. Xuebeng scratched his head and quickly explained, Uncle Emperor, this is not an emergency. I must report to you quickly. Xueshing didn't take it seriously. As far as Xuebeng was concerned, he came to complain to him because he couldn't beat others in the academy. It's no wonder that he was stepped on by Xueqinghe for such childish behavior. If it weren't for some things that caused the relationship between him and Xueqinghe to break down, he wouldn't have turned to support Xuebeng, a pure waste. Leading Xuebeng into the reception room nearby, Xuebeng sat in the front seat and asked lazily, Banger, what kind of noise did you make in the academy? After Xuebeng stood up and closed the door of the guest room, he said, Uncle Huang, there is one more person in the college team. I heard that his name is Qitian. He was put into the college team by 3 education committee members just after he enrolled. And the Emperor brother seems to pay special attention to his affairs. Xueshing frowned, really? Why have I never heard of it? Could it be that those 3 old guys want to hide it from me, that he never took the initiative to get involved in matters within the Tiando Royal Academy? If Xuebeng hadn't mentioned it, he seemed to have forgotten that he was still the nominal manager of the academy. Xuebeng seized the opportunity and added jealously, Uncle Huang, those 3 old guys are originally from Xueqinghe. By doing this, they clearly want to isolate you. When our uncle and nephew lose power, Xueqinghe will definitely show his strength. Teeth will kill us. Slap. Xuexing's hand clapped heavily on the tea table beside him. Banger, how many times have I told you, don't say anything that is not conducive to unity. Who is Xuexing? He is your imperial brother, my king's my nephew. You two are brothers. After Qinghe was appointed as the prince by the emperor's brother, he tried to show his kindness to you several times, but what did you do every time? Xuebeng smiled bitterly in his heart. Uncle Emperor, what are you doing? Aren't all of my actions at your command? Before he could speak, Xuexing said with a look of hatred, you and I are both heirs of the royal family. As the supreme emperor, brother, and I, as the prince, essentially serve the empire. But I have never said a word of complaint. Banger, if you have such an attitude, what will I think so, what will Emperor Qinghe think so, and what will His Majesty think so? This tacit fact will always cause some trouble once it is brought to the table. If Xuebeng continues to act so ignorantly, he will be implicated sooner or later. Xuebeng lowered his head and said with a mournful look on his face, Uncle Emperor, I am completely dependent on your orders. But this Qitian is clearly the talent that Brother Emperor is focusing on attracting. If Brother Emperor's power continues to grow, we are still in the same place. Taboo, I'm afraid I'll never have a chance to compete with the Emperor's brother again. Why are you panicking? He's just a new guy who joined the academy. Is his background check clear? At worst, if we give some benefits to the family behind him, why won't he obediently fall over to us? Xuexing snorted coldly. Xuebeng thought about it again, and it seemed to make sense. Every student who enrolls in Tiando Royal Academy needs a letter of recommendation from his or her family. All you need to do is get the letter of recommendation from Qitian when he entered school, and it's not difficult to find the family behind him. No. Xuexing frowned and slowly put down the teacup in his hand. Since those three old foxes value the boy named Qitian, they will inevitably hide his identity. Ordinary methods may not work. Banger, you and your friends should first go find the members of the Imperial fighting team and inquire about the situation. If it doesn't work, I will take action, do you understand? Qitian cannot achieve success at all. Xuexing's approach is also based on the idea of staying out of the matter. A mere trivial matter was not worth offending Xuexing. Uncle Emperor, you must help me. I really want to make progress. Before leaving, Xuebeng said with a begging look on his face. Xuexing glared at him and reprimanded, Look, I can't keep my temper. Brother Huang is now in his prime, why should you and I be anxious? Banger, remember what I said, and you must have the necessary patience to fight for you. Get enough opportunities. In my opinion, it's best to leave Qitian's affairs alone, so as not to alert others. Chapter 82 Jade Tianxin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At night, everyone from the Imperial fighting team came to the Tiando Great Soul Fighting Arena. Ming simply explained a few words, then turned and left the private room. The rest of the tactical arrangements were left entirely to Yu Tianheng. The team spirit fight won't start until late at night, so let's not be in a hurry. Yanzi, your injury has not healed yet. Let's rest for 2 days. For the team spirit fight tonight and tomorrow, Yufeng and Leopard will all play. We will consider the rotation later. Just after resting, they arrived at the Great Soul Fighting Arena. Without even having time to take a bite of dinner, Dugu Yan knew that he would not be playing today, so he took the initiative to take on the logistics work of the team, packed a lot of food for everyone, and brought it into the private room. Don't be in a hurry to eat yet. Before Qitian could finish speaking, Yu Feng and Osluo immediately began to feast. You must know that spirit fighting is a strenuous exercise. If you participate in spirit fighting with a full stomach, it will affect your performance. Once you are hit in the abdomen, you will probably vomit. If you don't eat, how can you have the strength to fight for souls? Yu Feng and the other two said indifferently. Seeing this, Qitian said nothing more. When they are beaten and vomited, they will not eat again next time. Based on yesterday's experience, when everyone signed up for a one-on-one spirit fight today, they all had a different time. Please invite the God of War and Yu Tianxin to go to the 6th arena in the 3rd area to participate in the spirit battle. Everyone in Huangdo also laughed at the nickname Qitian gave himself, but after seeing his strength, no one thought the title was a joke. However, his opponent in this match is quite related to Yu Tianheng. Qitian, you don't have to hold back when you get to the ring. Give him a lesson. Yu Tianheng said with a smile. He and Yu Tianxin are both strong contenders for the position of the sect's young master. During this period, every defeat of both parties will be infinitely magnified. If Qitian really can defeat Yu Tianxin, Yu Tianheng will take the initiative in certain matters. Of course, the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex is the #1 beast martial soul in the mainland, and Yu Tianxin also has level 39 soul power. It will not be easy for Qitian to defeat him. Qitian nodded in agreement. He had no interest in getting involved in the competition between their brothers, but simply wanted to win the spirit battle. Yu Tianxin and Yu Tianheng are about the same strength. If they can defeat him, it means that they are also capable of defeating Yu Tianheng. The words are divided into two parts. This time, Yu Tianxin did not come to the Great Soul Fighting Arena alone, but came with many teammates and several teachers from Thunder Academy. Moreover, as his strong supporter within the sect, the deputy sect leader Yu Luo Mian also came here. Tianxin, the sect will compare you and Yu Tianheng in all aspects, and finally select the candidate for the young sect leader. Therefore, if you can obtain a higher-level fighting spirit badge in the big spirit fighting arena, you can be able to a great extent come on, fight for the initiative for you. Yu Luomian warned, you have only won 7 consecutive victories now, and your opponent's strength is limited. Try to preserve your soul power as much as possible for the team soul battle in the evening. Deputy sect leader, I will do it. Yu Tianxin responded and quickly rushed to the contestants' passage. Not to mention Yu Luomian didn't care about his opponent, even Yu Tianxin didn't care either. The masters of several major element academies have already participated in many soul battles, and the lowest ones are bronze soul battle badges. In the iron fighting soul badge match, not only were they impossible to encounter, but powerful opponents were also rare. Qitian came to the center of the ring first. When Yu Tianxin stepped forward, he realized that Qitian was not what he expected. He was a middle-aged man who had been trapped in the Soul Lord for many years. Oh. It seems that you are also a team member of a certain college. Yu Tianxin took the initiative to chat. Each other. Without giving the two a chance to say more, the referee immediately announced the start of the game. Blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex, possessed. Yu Tianxin looked confident. The moment the martial spirit possessed him, the muscles on his arms swelled slightly, looking full of strength. 3 yellow, and purple spirit rings appeared at his feet, and the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex spirit behind him stared at Qitian, trying to remove the obstacles in front of him. Blue electric Tyrannosaurus martial spirit, my god, I didn't expect to meet him today. The audience in the Tiando Soul Fighting Arena is much more knowledgeable than the audience in the Soto Soul Fighting Arena. As an inherited martial spirit from one of the top 3 sects, every time he appears, he can receive a lot of cheers. Coupled with Yu Tianxin's good looks, many female viewers are cheering for her. It seems that you are very popular. Qitian responded with a faint smile. The next second, 3 yellow, purple and purple soul rings appeared at his feet. The second soul ring absorbed by Leapfrog gave Qitian a certain audience. Coupled with his highly personalized title, many viewers came here because of his fame. As for whether he was laughing at him or wanted to see his strength, it was unclear. Yu Luo Mian in the private room was a little uneasy. He stood up suddenly, pointed at Qitian and said, which sect cultivated this monster? Exchange meetings are often held between Tiando Royal Academy and Thunder Academy, so teachers from Thunder Academy have heard some rumors about the new members of the Imperial Academy. Deputy Sect Master, he should be a student of Tiando Royal Academy. The leader of the team quickly replied. Yu Luo Mian's face was gloomy and uncertain. No one knew what he was thinking. It's an honor for me to fight against you. The first soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. Yu Tianxin's hands turned into dragon claws, and every time he waved, thunder appeared in the air. After the Blue Lightning Overlord Dragon Soul Master breaks through level 40, his body parts will begin to transform into dragons. For every 10 levels thereafter, one more part of his body will transform into dragons. Now, Tianxin has just broken through level 39, and obviously cannot meet the conditions for dragon transformation. Faced with his offensive, Qitian did not flinch. Between the fists and claws intersecting, there were bursts of explosions. This duel between the attack-type soul masters was full of fun to watch, and new spectators kept coming to the auditorium. No, his soul ring has already appeared. It's impossible that the martial soul hasn't appeared. There's something weird about it. Tianxin didn't know that Qitian's martial spirit was a fist, and thought that his martial spirit could be hidden, so he became more vigilant to avoid sneak attacks. It's worse than I expected. As he spoke, the first soul ring at Qitian's feet lit up. You must know that the rating given to him by the system will cause all his attributes to be enhanced all the time. Not to mention that the soul power gap between him and Tianxin is only 5 levels, even if it is level 7 or 8, a 60% increase is enough. Smooth. The first soul skill, Mtlnovel Fist. Along with the roar of the dragon, Qitian's straight punch forcefully forced Tianxin back more than 10 steps. What a terrifying punching power, what a domineering style. You are strong, but I am not weak either. Tianxin's hands ached slightly, and he was obviously struggling to receive Qitian's blow. Qitian's boxing skills were extremely aggressive, but Fan Yuxiangxin showed a hint of fatigue and he immediately seized the opportunity. After one punch, the next one followed. Tianxin had no chance to break the game. If this continued, he would definitely lose. Chapter 83 Ye Lingling's Initiative. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I am one of the blue and electric twin stars. I am the pride of the sect. I will never lose. He let out a roar, and Tianxin's momentum suddenly increased a lot. The muscles all over his body continued to expand, and his body was much stronger than before. Tian usually does a lot of strength training, so his muscles are not small. But it's the kind that makes you look thin when you're wearing clothes, and look strong when you take off your clothes. At this moment, Tianxin's large muscles had burst his shirt. In terms of body shape, he surpassed Qitian by a head. The third soul skill, Thunder's Fury. The instantly increased attack power caused him to interrupt Qitian's attacking rhythm. The dragon's claws that were swung rapidly left many wounds on Qitian's body. I'm going berserk, right? It's just the right time to try out my new soul skills on you. Qitian has never used the self-created soul skill to defeat the system reward, the true nature of the overlord. This technique of increasing the number of attacks by superimposing the number of attacks is rarely possible. You must know that the opponent will not allow him to continuously superimpose attacks, or the opponent will be defeated if he cannot sustain a few punches at all. Since Tianxin is willing to act as this human sandbag, Qitian has no reason to refuse. The fists and claws kept colliding together, and Tianxin's attacks carried the power of thunder, constantly attacking Qitian. As the most destructive attribute ability, the latter can only rely on soul power to resist. Before the original martial soul awakens for the second time, unless the soul skill is used, normal punches will not produce attribute energy. Although they suffered a loss in this aspect, Qitian's increasingly powerful offensive made up for this shortcoming. Your martial spirit is your body. Tianxin finally saw the clues. The opponent's physical fitness was extremely strong, and even his dragon claws could hardly injure him. Qitian neither affirmed nor denied. The increasing power of the punch caused Tianxin, who was in a berserk state, to lose his initial composure, and his face became extremely heavy. In the private room, Luomian angrily pounded the table in front of him. Tianxin, can't you see that the attack power of that bastard is constantly increasing? This is a move similar to the random cloak hammering technique. Either forcefully hit, either cut it off or avoid its edge. Why couldn't Tianxin think of it? In fact, Tianxin had already thought of it, but every time he wanted to get rid of it, Qitian would stick to it like a dogskin plaster. To break the situation, he must come up with a more powerful offensive. The second soul skill is Thunderbolt. There was a loud bang, and a small dark cloud formed in the sky. Several thick thunder and lightning suddenly appeared in the rolling clouds. In an instant, thunder and lightning fell to the sky. This is the trick I've been waiting for. Qitian's right hand retreated behind his shoulder, showing a deliberate punching posture. With the blessing of 50% damage reduction, Thunder and Lightning's attack did not cause any substantial damage to him. The first soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. Deliberate punch. With one punch, the galloping golden dragon crashed into Tianxin. This is a self-created soul skill. Tianxin was shocked, but at this moment he had no time to defend himself. Qitian's attack was not a powerful attack. Even without Tianxin's previous charge, the initial power of the deliberate punch cannot be underestimated. Without any surprise, under Qitian's powerful punch, Tianxin was knocked off the ring. In this battle of souls, the God of War contestant wins. The referee immediately announced. He actually won. Tianheng in the private room was a little uneasy. Not long ago, Tianheng had a competition with Tianxin. The final result was that Tianheng won, but in that competition, he only won miserably, unlike Qitian, who won at a very small cost. Although there were injuries on Qitian's body, they were all insignificant skin injuries. Qitian didn't even release his second or third soul skills, and he only consumed 30% of his soul power at most. Under such comparison, Tianheng understood that if the person on the field were him, he would also lose. As the captain of the royal fighter team, if the team members are stronger than him, can his position as captain still be stable? Qin Ming's face on the other side was extremely gloomy. He never thought that Qitian was so powerful. If he had not objected to Qitian joining the imperial fighting team at the beginning, the relationship between them might not be as antagonistic as it is now. It's too late to say anything now. Qin Ming is not the kind of person who is good at submissiveness. Tianxin staggered to his feet, cupped his fists and said, "You are very strong. Maybe we will have a chance to fight in the future. When the time comes, I will definitely defeat you. You're not bad either. I'm waiting for your challenge." Qitian responded with a smile. He would also respond politely to polite people. Returning to the private room of the imperial fighting team, brothers Shiremo and Shiremo took the initiative and said, "Qitian, you are very strong. We two brothers can be your training partners for tomorrow's training." "Thank you," Qitian said, cupping his fists. "Oh, you two actually took the initiative to speak." Dugu Yen joked with a smile. "Qitian, sit down quickly and I'll treat you." Ye Lingling walked forward and pulled Qitian to sit on the sofa beside him. "Lingling, why are you?" Dugu Yen blinked. In the team, Yu Feng and Osluo both pursued Ye Lingling, but the latter ignored them completely. Unexpectedly, Ye Lingling would take the initiative to show his kindness to Qitian. Yu Feng and Osluo's expressions were extremely gloomy, and even Yu Tianheng's expression was also gloomy. Shiremo and Shiremo never talked to Yu Tianheng except for training matters. Now, they are taking the initiative to talk to Qitian, which makes people speculate. Dugu Yen noticed everyone's expressions and quickly smoothed things over. Qitian is injured. Lingling is treating him. How do you all look? Lingling has treated you before. Without giving Yu Tianheng and the others a chance to brew their emotions, the announcement from the Great Soul Fighting Arena quickly pulled them away from the competition. Qitian naturally saw all this. "It seems that I won't be able to stay here much longer." Qitian sighed in his heart and felt helpless. Joining Tiando Royal Academy may have been a wrong decision from the beginning. The water here was deeper than he expected. It is not an exaggeration to say that this is a small court. Before you have enough strength, getting involved in a power struggle does not seem to be a wise choice. Qitian's injuries healed quickly under Jiuxin Haitang's treatment. Putting away his martial spirit, Ye Lingling said softly, "Thank you for what happened today." Qitian smiled and responded, "You're welcome, we are all classmates. Besides, I also have to thank you for treating me." Ye Lingling nodded dully, placing her hands on her knees and clenching them, looking very nervous. Qitian thought for a while and then took the initiative to say, "Do you have a fixed partner for the next 2 vs 2 spirit fight? I can actually stay with you." Ye Lingling's voice gradually disappeared, and she seemed to be extremely nervous. "Hey, Junior Qitian, you are quite blessed." Lingling is. "Don't talk nonsense." Ye Lingling sneered lightly and quickly left the private room. the two Shimo brothers giggled and turned away in unison. Chapter 84 Feikun Brothers Team. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In today's one-on-one spirit battle, everyone in the Imperial Fighting Team won. The 2-on-2 spirit fight soon began, and as expected, Qitian and Ye Lingling formed a temporary team. Their opponents were just two young men who had just entered Soul Master. With the help of Ye Lingling, Qitian quickly won the battle. This victory in the spirit battle was Ye Lingling's first victory. Before, due to her introverted personality, she had never formed a team with anyone, so she had never participated in a spirit fight. In the next team spirit fight, I will be the main attacker. Qitian, you can support me. Leopard, you foam, you go straight to the opponent's back row. Tianxin arranged. Originally, he planned to serve as the vanguard of the team together with Qitian. But with Qitian's dazzling performance, Tianxin felt a sense of crisis. As the first soul fighting team participating in the royal fighting team, he must perform well enough. I can do it. Qitian nodded. At this time, the staff of the Great Soul Fighting Arena sent over their opponent's information. The opponent in this team spirit battle is a newly formed team called Feikun Brothers Team. The martial spirits of their captain and deputy captain are both rare golden pheasant martial spirits. There is no healing soul master in the team, but there is a control soul master whose martial soul is silk thread. In addition, the martial spirits of the other four team members are also the same, namely Man Nyo and Fei Bao, for strong attack type soul masters and two agility type soul masters. This team configuration is very offensive. After reading the opponent's information, Du Guyan couldn't help but said, Tianxin, is there something wrong with your arrangement? Once the opponent ignores the control soul master, you will face the offensive pressure of four people. Otherwise, let Qitian come to the front court with Shimo to help you. Tianxin frowned and said, no, Sure Mo and Sure Mo are responsible for protecting Ling. Qitian will be on the side to support me. Just find the right time to come back to support me. Such an arrangement is not an exaggeration. It can only be said that Tianxin is very confident in his own strength. Facing the pincer attack from four people, he had to hold on for at least a moment, otherwise Qitian would have no chance to support him. Du Guyan thought for a moment and said, Tianxin, what if the other party gives up protecting the control spirit master and 6 people attack you at the same time? Yufeng and Baozi can resist the opponent's 2 agility attack spirit masters. But you and Qitian, facing the 4 of them, the rhythm of the game will directly enter a war of attrition. The 4 opponents will consume 2 of you. When you are exhausted, we will definitely lose. Faced with this situation, it can be easily resolved if there are auxiliary soul masters in the team who can provide amplification. However, Du Guyan was temporarily unable to play due to his physical condition. Qitian said at this time, if Sure Mo is moved to the front court, then Osluo and Yufeng must hold back the opponent's 2 agility attack system soul masters. Otherwise, only Sure Mo will be difficult to deal with the agility attack system. The soul master's surprise attack. Tianxin glanced at Qitian and said, just do as I say. I will be responsible for holding down 4 of them. Qitian, you attack from the flank and find a way to eliminate one person first. With the numerical advantage, we can also be more proactive. Without giving them too much opportunity to discuss, the staff of the Great Spirit Arena urged them to come on stage. If the Great Spirit Arena keeps providing us with information about our opponents, I suggest that we sign up for team spirit fights in advance and spend more time analyzing our opponents. Qitian suggested before going on stage. Behind them is the Tiando Royal Academy, and the Great Soul Fighting Arena usually provides them with information about their opponents. Moreover, the teamwork between them is not tacit, and many tactics have not been practiced. Obtaining your opponent's information in advance and analyzing it can reduce the possibility of their mistakes. Tianxin nodded in agreement, but when he looked at Qitian, he inadvertently felt a little more wary. The Feikun brothers team felt unprecedented pressure. Boss, our opponent is the team from Tiando Royal Academy. The family background behind them is not something we can afford to offend. The 7 of them are all free soul masters, and they originally served as a soul hunting team outside the Sunset Forest. But some time ago, a certain soul-hunting team offended a big noble, causing the empire to start suppressing the soul-hunting team's business. They had no choice but to come here to fight for souls and make a living. As the captain, Feikun said in a deep voice, "We must lose this game, but I don't want to lose the game so cowardly." Vice Captain Kai Ji rolled his eyes and came up with an idea. "Captain, how about this? Let's eliminate a few of them first, and then add some water to make them think they are coming back to win. These big nobles will probably like this arrangement very much." Feikun nodded and confirmed Kai Ji's proposal. Soon after, both sides arrived at the ring at the same time. Team spirit fighting attracts far more attention than one-on-one and two-on-two spirit fighting. Even if it is a newly formed team, the Great Soul Fighting Arena will pay enough attention to it. Before the start, the team fighting referee seemed to be in no hurry to start the game. During the period before the game, the two sides can have a friendly exchange, commonly known as the trash talk session. "You are a bunch of young brats, I will teach you how to be a good person." Feikun was the first to speak. Not to be outdone, Tianxin replied, "I'm not like you. I've wasted half my life and am still only at the Soul Master level." Feikun continued, "So what, at least at this stage, I can still control you." There was nothing new in the trash talk between these two people. The referee sighed and quickly sounded the gong. "You have 1 minute to activate your martial spirit. After 1 minute, the game officially begins. If you take action early, brothers, don't be looked down upon by others." Tianxin shouted, and the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex spirit quickly completed possession. At the same time, Feikun and others also activated their martial spirits. However, compared to the gorgeous soul ring configurations of everyone in the Imperial fighting team, except for the captain and deputy captain, everyone else has white soul rings. Game start. According to the plan, Qitian can just stand still. Tianxin took a few steps forward and hooked his hand towards Feikun. "So what about the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Soul Master?" Tianxin took the initiative to leave the team, but Feikun and others didn't mind teaching him a lesson. The first soul skill, Entanglement. Silk Thread Soul Master Wang Fei took action instantly. The name of the soul skill is exactly the same as Tang San's first soul skill, but the effect of the soul skill is completely different. Wang Fei's silk thread was much thinner than Bluesilver Grass. Before Tianxin could react, the surrounding area was already wrapped in thin threads. "Captain, be careful," Yufeng warned, and quickly found the opponent's Flying Leopard Spirit Master. Oslo faced off against another Flying Leopard Spirit Master. The battle is about to break out. As they expected before the game, the Feikun brothers didn't bother with their control-type Soul Master, and the other 6 rushed straight towards the Imperial fighter team. Tian just wanted to step forward to support, but was stopped by Tianxin. "Do as I say." Chapter 85 Bad News continues. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The first soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. Tianxin swung out his claw, and all the threads wrapped around his body were torn off by him. However, this is only the opponent's 10-year soul skill, and there are still hundreds or thousands of soul skills that have not been released. But Tianxin's behavior was completely like a living target. The first soul skill, Rooster Crow. Feikun and Kai Ji performed their soul skills at the same time. For a time, the speed of everyone in the Feikun brothers team increased by 20%. Group Amplification Type Soul Skill. Qitian's mouth twitched. This kind of soul skill will only appear on auxiliary soul masters. As an offensive soul master, if you obtain single target amplification soul skills, the effect will be better. Of course, it's not their fault. After all, no one was like Tang San, who had such a good teacher as Yu Shaojiang in the beginning. It is not uncommon on the mainland for people who don't know enough about martial arts to acquire useless soul skills. Well done, the first soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. Tianxin did not flinch, but took the initiative to attack. You're really young, you don't have any tactical qualities at all. Feikun laughed heartily. Wang Fei, the control soul master behind him, didn't need any reminder. He immediately seized the opportunity and used his second soul skill. The second soul skill is to lift the thread. The silk thread that was originally broken by Yu Tianheng gained vitality again and flew towards Yu Tianheng. The other end of the silk thread was firmly controlled by Wang Fei. In an instant, Yu Tianheng's figure was frozen in place. Silk thread is not a powerful control-type martial spirit. In addition, Yu Tianheng has level 39 strength. This level of control will definitely not be able to stop him. But because of his lack of experience, he did not break free from the restraints at the first time. Kai Ji and Kai Kun came to him and performed their skills at the same time, the second soul skill, Iron Mountain Reliance. The two of them had the same soul skills, and they bumped their shoulders into Yu Tianheng's chest at the same time. Even if there was a difference in soul power level, no matter what, Yu Tianheng was still hit and vomited blood without any precautions. Captain Oslo saw this and planned to go to support. Boy, your opponent is me. Flying Leopard Spirit Master Leia punched him in the chest. Before the game, Oslo ate a lot of food. Since the opponents in 1-on-1 and 2-on-2 fighting were weak, he had no problems. Leia's fist was so heavy that the blow actually caused Oslo to spit all over him. Boy, you dare to eat before the game. Holding back the disgusting smell, Leia continued to attack, and Oslo was quickly beaten unconscious. At the instruction of the referee, he was eliminated from the game. Only 1 minute into the game, one person was eliminated. The ending of this spirit battle seemed predictable. Lingling treats Tianheng, Graphite Stone Mill, you must ensure Lingling's safety. Seeing that the situation is getting worse, Qitian takes up the important task of command. Your opponent is us. Two big men, Tiniu and Maniu, quickly stopped in front of Qitian. These two are very tall and can definitely be considered power players. Qitian had 10,000 ways to deal with this stupid big guy. He quickly moved Qingyun's step under his feet, jumped, and fell behind them. The first soul skill, Bull Collision. Tainyo and the others reacted quickly, using their soul skills to quickly change direction. Qitian had no intention of making a sneak attack. Looking at the two cows charging towards him, he exerted slight force on his sauls and rose into the air. As he flew over the two of them, he didn't forget to step on it. At the same time, under Ye Lingling's treatment, Yu Tianheng's injuries have fully recovered. With the lesson he just learned, he became much more cautious, and they struggled with Kai Kun, barely falling behind. What a powerful healing ability. Riley, you and Leia will attack each other and kill the kid in front of you. Kai Kun shouted. Yufeng is not as good as Riley in terms of combat experience. Now with Leia's support, it immediately showed its decline. Sure Mo and Sure Mo couldn't support the front battlefield at will. Once the opponent's Flying Leopard Soul Master rushed to the rear row, Ye Lingling would be in danger. The opponent's control-type Soul Master was not idle. Seeing Qitian playing tricks on Tiniu and the others, he quickly used his soul skills. The first soul skill, Shenglong Fist. The strength of the silk thread martial spirit is not high, so Qitian simply kills 3 birds with 1 stone. The Shenglong Fist was struck, and the powerful punch not only knocked back the 2 iron bulls, but the aftermath of the punch also shattered the incoming threads. At the moment, the 3 frontcourt players of the Royal Do team are all facing a 1-on-2 situation. Qitian understood that it seemed that he was the only one who could open up the situation for the Huangdo team. Did this kid grow up taking dolly pills? He has so much strength. Tiniu frowned slightly and said in a low tone, as a person who has been in the soul skill forest for many years, he can certainly see the difference between Qitian. The opponent achieved excellent results with minimal consumption, which showed that the opponent was very experienced in combat. Unable to attack for a long time, they simply adopted the simplest countermeasure, substitution. The cooperation between the Feikun brothers was extremely tacit. Tiniu just made a look, and one person held Qitian firmly while the other went to exchange positions with Kai Kun. Following the same pattern twice, Qitian's opponents were replaced by Kai Kun and Kai Ji. Tiniu and the others faced off against Yu Tianheng, as a pure strength soul master. When they met Yu Tianheng, a person who liked to use soul skills to fight against each other, they firmly suppressed each other. Not long after, Yufeng could no longer withstand his opponent's attack and was defeated. Because of the high intensity running on the field, he started spitting food out of his mouth as soon as he got off the ring. I believe that after this experience, he and Oslo will no longer dare to eat before games in the future. Riley and Leia, the two Flying Leopard's soul masters, quickly rushed to Ye Lingling's position. The two brothers Shiremo and Shiremo opened their tortoise shells and protected Ye Lingling in the center, thus avoiding being eliminated. However, the turtles need to continuously inject soul power, and their soul power will be exhausted before long. In such a situation, anyone with a discerning eye can see that the defeat of the Imperial team is almost certain, but Qitian did not give up. The third soul skill, Fist Lai Gang Feng. Facing the experienced Kai Kun and others, it was difficult for his attacks to have the desired effect. But after activating the third soul skill, even if the fist is empty, the increasingly fierce wind can still produce good results. Brother, this kid is so difficult to deal with. Is he really as young as he looks on the outside? Kai Ji couldn't help but ask. In fact, according to their plan before the game, after one more person from the Royal Fighter team was eliminated, they were ready to let loose. But the strength shown by Qitian successfully aroused their competitive spirit. On Yu Tianheng's side, the two sides continued to use soul skills to attack each other, and the side with more people had an obvious advantage. Even though Yu Tianheng's attacks were extremely powerful, his soul power was almost exhausted due to the constant dealings between Tainyo and the others. After being eliminated from the competition, everyone in the Imperial fighting team understood that the defeat of this spirit fight was certain, but Yu Tianheng felt that they were defeated due to lack of experience, but they did not lose in terms of personal strength. Chapter 86 Convinced. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If Shiremo and Shiremo continue to protect Ye Lingling, Qitian will be surrounded and suppressed by the other five. Kai Kun and others were originally from the soul hunting team and had extensive experience in encirclement and suppression. From their positions, Qitian knew that this was a group of top hunters. At this time, tactics must be changed. Lingling, you take the initiative to admit defeat. Shimao Shimo and you will join me to face the enemy. Qitian said loudly. At this time, the auxiliary soul master must be given up to have any chance of winning. Brother, do we want to admit defeat? Tinyu asked in a low voice. Kai Kun thought for a moment and gave a negative reply. This kid has something. Since we are destined not to win, let's have fun with him. Hearing Qitian's voice, Ye Lingling did not hesitate and decisively chose to admit defeat. Under the rules of the Great Soul Fighting Arena, Riley and Leia could not attack those who had already given up. Now, without Ye Lingling's worries, Shiremo and Shiremo quickly targeted Riley. Qitian was not idle, the strong wind around him was already quite fierce. Turning around suddenly, he punched out the strong wind lingering around him with his right fist. Riley and Leia followed Kai Kun's arrangements before the game and pretended to resist at will. Seeing that Gang Feng was unbreakable, they jumped off the ring. In the eyes of outsiders, they might be worried that Qitian's soul skills would cause devastating damage to them. But Qitian knew very well how perfunctory the resistance these two guys had just done was. To be clear, this is just letting water go. Boy, you are very good. Let's attack the Soul Masters and have a head-to-head contest. As he spoke, Kai Kun waved his hand behind him, controlling the Soul Master Wang Fei, and took the initiative to walk off the ring. Qitian narrowed his eyes slightly. He didn't know Kai Kun's true intention. In this situation on the field, the Feikun brothers team has a 90% chance of winning with the control Soul Master. Letting Wang Fei take the initiative to withdraw would be cutting off an arm. The current situation was beneficial to his own side, and he couldn't say much. Shimo, you guys dragged their captain and deputy captain to death. I'll deal with those two barbarian spirit masters first. Qitian arranged in a low voice. The two Shimo brothers are best at containing people. Dealing with Kai Kun and Qitian at the same time, Qitian could only be restrained by them. Instead of doing this, it is better to take the initiative. Qingyun step. There was wind under Qitian's feet, and he came to the side of Tinyu and the two people in a flash of vines. The true nature of the Overlord, that is a superimposed soul skill. The advantage is very obvious in the process of head-to-head confrontation with opponents. Tainyo and the others did not dare to be careless, and the second soul ring under their feet lit up. The second soul skill, Wrath of the Barbarian Bull, that this is a self-amplifying soul skill. Qitian can clearly feel that the defense and attack power of the two of them have been improved. Ignoring it, he punched faster and faster. By the 30th punch, Tianyu was clearly unable to withstand it. The third soul skill, Iron Thorn Feather Rain, Feikun, who was entangled with Shuremo, quickly opened his arms, and countless feather blades like flying knives poured out. Shuremo didn't dare to be careless and immediately activated his soul skill defense. But Feikuan's target is not him, but Qitian. The second soul skill is to retreat in order to advance. Qitian was not interested in fighting, and quickly made a defensive posture with his left arm. The shadow of a giant turtle enveloped his whole body. At the same time, his right arm retreated behind his shoulder. Bang bang bang! The feather blade landed on the giant turtle's shadow, making a crisp collision sound. Tianyu and the two were relieved, but they were not idle. The third soul skill, Bull Trampling. The two men's right legs slammed into the ground, and a violent shock wave quickly struck Qitian. Shuremo released his defensive posture and threw out the tortoise shell in his hand. During the flight, the tortoise shell spontaneously rotated at high speed and headed straight for Kaiji. As the owner of the black tortoise spirit, he recognized that the shadow of Qitian's second spirit ability came from the Solitan giant tortoise. What's more, it is a 1000-year level soul skill, which is enough to withstand 3 people's double teaming in a short period of time. The third soul skill, Shield Explosion. The tortoise shell exploded as soon as it landed next to Kaiji. Kaiji was caught off guard and was severely injured. Immediately afterwards, Shuremo eliminated him from the game. At the same time, Qitian punched out deliberately. The golden dragon flew out and let out a deafening roar. After accumulating enough attacks, the power of this punch instantly defeated the defenses of the two iron bulls. Feikun, the only one left, simply admitted defeat. In this team battle, the Royal Do team wins. We have witnessed together the Royal Do team's comeback in a desperate situation. Let us look forward to the future performance of the Royal Do team. The host used a high-pitched voice to address the audience. Announced. Boy, you are the best young soul master I have ever seen. I am optimistic about you. Feikun gave a thumbs up and said with a smile. Qitian smiled faintly and said, thank you for being a sparring partner. Of course, if you hadn't let go of this spirit fight, we wouldn't have been able to win. Feikun didn't say much. After a chuckle, he turned around and walked out of the ring. Tianxin sighed. Although the victory was somewhat unsuccessful, he finally got a good start. This guy. Tianxin, who was under the ring, stared at Qitian. The team spirit battle is over, and tonight's training is over. Qitian returned to the private room and had dinner. Finally, this spirit fight was a close call. If Lingling hadn't taken the initiative to admit defeat in the end, Shimo might not have been able to fully demonstrate their respective strengths. Yu Feng, who had regained his composure, began to conduct post-match analysis. Tianxin frowned. After being eliminated, he had been watching the battle in front of the ring. He knew very well that this key command was made by Qitian. Actually, it was Qitian who asked me to withdraw. Ye Lingling whispered. Yu Feng was stunned, and his face changed slightly. Oslo quickly changed the topic. Anyway, today's team spirit fight, although the process was a bit tortuous, this is our first victory, and it is still worthy of celebration. Why are you celebrating? It's hard to celebrate when you behave like this. As soon as Ming opened the door of the private room, he heard Yu Feng's voice and immediately scolded him. Qitian continued to eat the food in front of him and ignored Ming. It stands to reason that this is the first time for a team to participate in a team fighting spirit. As the team's teacher and leader, he needs to formulate corresponding tactics for the team. But Ming was fine, leaving everything to Yu Tianxin. It doesn't matter that Yu Tianxin is really capable. The key is that he is not only inexperienced, but also a fool. In the original work, Yu Tianxin has no highlight moment at all. In the Soul Master competition, the Imperial Fighter team was defeated by the Wuhundian team as soon as they debuted. Their record is really eye-catching. I just don't know if Ming is the culprit of this situation. Teacher Qin, we won after all. Yufeng said weakly. Qin Ming was also unexpected about winning the game. A game that was bound to be lost was fought back under Qitian's command. Does this guy like to create miracles so much? Of course, Qin Ming would not say all this. He said, Tianxin, as the captain, is this how you command your teammates? Chapter 87, Seize Qin Ming's Handle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yu Tianxin admitted his mistake generously. Teacher Qin, I didn't consider the opponent's playing style clearly. It's my problem. But this time, Yanzi did not play, and our team's strength was somewhat affected. Under the constant harassment of the opponent's control soul master, we fell into passivity. If Dugu Yan comes on stage, her poison will indeed poison Kai Kun and others. But the consequences of doing so will only make everyone more dependent on Dugu Yan, but she couldn't control the poisonous mist freely. When it came to the Soul Master competition, it was probably because of this reason that she was afraid to release the poisonous mist. Qin Ming's scolding did not end. He made a decision in his heart and planned to take this opportunity to frustrate the spirit of everyone in Huangdo. If the other party wasn't afraid of your background, you would definitely lose in this spirit fight. The other party's agility and attack system spirit masters, as well as the control system spirit masters, all left the arena on their own initiative. Is it possible that you still expect to win in the spirit master competition? Come on, let others be afraid of your background. Tianxin, as the captain, you will lead everyone to reflect on the problems that occurred in the soul fighting just now. If the situation is still the same in tomorrow's soul fighting, you all should go to the class of Tianwei level students to learn the theoretical knowledge of soul masters. After saying that, Qin Ming waved his sleeves and walked out of the private room angrily. Is this the end? Qitian's mouth twitched slightly. As a team teacher, shouldn't we help students analyze their shortcomings and find solutions? With such a careless teacher, if Huangdo's first team hadn't been sent to the finals, they wouldn't even have been able to advance to the qualifiers. Yu Tianxin didn't know what was wrong with the team, so he simply summed it up in one sentence: without the control soul master, we lack effective countermeasures. After Yanzi returns to the team, we will start planning again. Besides, tonight is our first win. If we didn't manage to treat you to dinner yesterday, let's make up for it today. Yu Tianxin deliberately avoided the reason why he invited guests to dinner yesterday. You guys go ahead. My soul power is about to break through. I'm going back to practice tonight. Since others didn't welcome him, Qitian had no reason to lick his face. After saying that, he left the private room. I will also go back to practice. Ye Lingling confessed and quickly caught up with Qitian. Captain, them. Qitian just ate a lot of food, so he should be full. Ignore them, let's go have a midnight snack. As an auxiliary soul master, Ye Lingling would be in danger if he went out of the city alone at night. Qitian originally planned to go to the city to buy some medicinal materials, but in this situation, he could only return to the academy with Ye Lingling. Perhaps because there were no outsiders around, Ye Lingling became a lot bolder. Qitian, we were able to win today's game because of you. But Teacher Qin just belittled your contribution. Why didn't you refute? Qitian said calmly, he is telling the truth. The opponent did not use his full strength. If Kai Kun releases the water of the Pacific Ocean, even if the Royal Do team wins, I'm afraid they will be criticized for winning by relying on background. Ye Lingling was silent for a moment and then began to complain. I always feel that there is something wrong with Teacher Qin. It's not good to speak ill of people behind their backs. Qitian joked with a smile. No. Ye Lingling explained anxiously, I mean, Teacher Qin's style of doing things is contrary to the public. Qitian spread his hands and said, that means there is something wrong with your character. Ye Lingling did not deny it and continued, at the end of the last school year, I went to the college's warehouse to receive training resources. According to the college's regulations, I could receive resources worth 5,000 gold soul coins. But the actual situation is that someone in the name of the team, I took away 70% of everyone's training resources in advance. But I asked Sister Yanzi, not only did I not get the 70% of the resources, she also didn't get it. In the end, I could only use it in my own name. Take away the remaining 30%. Qitian frowned slightly, thinking of Qin Ming's abnormal behavior this morning. He immediately guessed the reason. Do you suspect that Qin Ming was behind it and secretly withheld 70% of everyone's resources? Ye Lingling nodded first, then shook his head. I have no evidence, and it's possible that someone else took it away. By the way, how much gold soul coins are the approximate value of the training resource quota we receive every month? Normally, it's about 1,005 gold soul coins. Only during long holidays will the college provide a lot of resources at once. Everything in the academy belongs to the Tiandu royal family. Stealing the property of the academy is equivalent to stealing the property of the royal family. Qitian touched his chin. He felt that it was very possible that Qin Ming did this. You know, Qin Ming's soul ring configuration is white, yellow, purple, and black. With such a garbage soul ring configuration, he can actually become the second youngest soul emperor in the mainland. The first place is naturally Tang Hao, but when he was the soul emperor, his soul ring configuration was yellow, purple, black, and black. There are many people with the best soul ring configuration on the mainland, but why should Qin Ming become the second youngest soul emperor on the mainland? In the past life, there was a saying on Blue Star that said, standing on the wind, a pig can take off. And this wind outlet naturally refers to cultivation resources. If Qin Ming can't break through quickly with enough resources to cultivate a soul saint, he will really be a waste. It is highly unlikely that the 3 education committee members were unaware of this matter. However, there are many resources accumulated in the college, and they are not used by anyone. Therefore, Qin Ming's actions are likely to be selectively ignored by them. If this matter is not mentioned openly, there will naturally be no problems, but if it is brought to the royal family. Even if it wasn't Qin Ming's fault, I'm afraid he would still be charged with improper management. If Qin Ming really did it, Qitian would have the handle on him if he investigates the matter clearly. When the time is right, he will definitely be able to give him a fatal blow. I only received resources of about 1,000 gold soul coins, and Qin Ming personally sent them. Qitian said in a deep voice. Qin Ming might not have thought that he would actually reconcile with Ye Lingling. After all, the academy does not directly stipulate the training resource quota for the members of the Royal Do team. It is usually arranged by the team leader. But it must be ensured that each team member receives the same amount. I went to pick it up at noon. I only got 500 gold soul coins this month. Ye Lingling handed the list to Qitian. These cultivation resources are the most common, and the prices are quite clear. The list given by Ye Lingling, the total items on it were even less than 500 gold soul coins. Qitian pondered for a moment and then said, don't make this matter public. If it is really Qin Ming's doing, he must have his own means to keep it from being exposed for such a long time. I guess Tianxin and the others never received the training resources from the academy. Qin Ming must know that only the 2 of us can see the lack of training resources. Our arms can't twist our thighs, so we have to wait for an opportunity. Chapter 88 Mimicry Training Field, Meng Shenji teaches in person. You are listening at Novelfull.audio. In the early morning, Qitian set off for the Mimicry Training Field. As the fastest place for soul masters to practice, Qitian plans to use the training environment to break through the soul power level. But he is an original martial soul, and unlike those soul masters with specific attributes, he is not able to accurately find an environment suitable for his cultivation. In addition to kitchens suitable for the training of food-type soul masters, other types of mimicry training grounds are each expensive to build. Thanks to the wealth of the Tiandu royal family, more than a dozen mimicry training grounds have been built in the academy. Almost all types of soul masters can find a mimicry training ground that suits them here. Qitian's idea was also very simple. His 3 soul rings had gold, water and wind attributes respectively. He decided to go to these 3 types of mimicry training grounds first and find out which ones suited him best. Just as he was about to go to one of the mimicry training grounds, a group of students who were behaving erratically blocked his way. Who is this kid? How come I've never seen him before in the academy? The leading young man said proudly with his head held high and his nostrils pointing to the sky. I don't know. I can't tell which noble family he is a disciple of. Another young man echoed. Boy, tell me your family background, otherwise, I'm afraid you will be taught a lesson by us. The leading young man laughed. Our boss's father is the lord of Tiando City, a earl respected by the empire. Although Tiando City is at the foot of the emperor, Shuya has to deal with the affairs of the entire empire. For some trivial matters in Tiando City, it is natural for the city lord to handle them. Being able to look after the emperor's home and courtyard, this young man's father is probably also the best among the earls. Looking at the two people singing in harmony, Qitian sneered, although I don't know who you are, I formally challenge you. According to the new regulations of the academy, you can't refuse. Boy, are you itchy? The leading young man took a step back unconsciously. This move was keenly captured by Qitian. It stands to reason that when the two parties do not know each other, they will not be timid with the other party's arrogant and domineering character. I don't care who ordered you to come here. Go back and tell him that if he wants to challenge me, I will accompany you at any time. After saying that, Qitian passed them and walked into the mimicry training field nearby. Boss, the leading young man snorted coldly, that boy is a soul master. Last night he defeated the 39th level Tianxin. If you want to be beaten, you must agree to compete with him. The young man scratched his head and said no more. Soon, the leading young man found an avalanche not far away. Your Highness, that boy is very vigilant. I didn't ask anything. Go find the people around him and inquire about it. This kid makes me very unhappy. You should know that I will do this. Qibao said, a wind attribute mimicry training ground. This is a roofed building, but there are strong winds inside. There is a very ancient soul guidance device underground. As long as soul power is injected into it, a strong wind will form. The late emperor obtained this device and placed it here specifically in order to cultivate talents for the empire. Following the voice, Qitian finally saw the figure of the other party clearly. I've met Chief Meng Shenji. Meng Shenji stepped forward with a smile on his face. Qitian, Qin Ming has reported your recent situation to me. You joined the Imperial fighter team earlier than I expected. Today, are you planning to practice soul power in the mimicry training ground? Qitian thought for a while and said, my martial spirit is a fist, which has no attributes. I don't know what kind of mimicry training ground to choose, so I just go around one by one to see the effect. For fist martial arts, the most suitable training ground for mimicry is a boxing gym or a ring. But these have never been seen on Douluo Continent. Qitian also didn't think that the academy would build such a boxing gym just for him. Meng Shenji said, I see that you have a lot of soul power, are you about to break through? Qitian nodded. It's not like there have never been soul masters without attribute martial souls on the mainland. However, most people choose mimic training grounds that have attributes similar to those of the highest-end soul ring. If I remember correctly, your third soul ring should be its of the wind attribute. Is this the best place for me? Qitian asked a little uncertainly. Meng Shenji did not answer, but said, as you think, you have to try it before you know. Qitian fell into deep thought. Before the second awakening of the original martial soul, there is no martial soul attribute. If he chooses the wind attribute as his main development direction, then the attribute of the second awakening of the martial soul will most likely be the wind attribute. He himself does not lack strength, and the wind attribute is good at speed. With the combination of speed and strength, his strength may be able to achieve a qualitative leap. Since he obtained the third soul ring, his punching speed has nearly doubled. Making up his mind, Qitian sat down cross-legged and felt the wind attribute power around him through meditation. Soul power is like air, everywhere. The method of meditation is to capture the soul power in the air and inhale it into the soul master's body. The soul power has no attributes, but here, under the constant influence of the strong wind, the soul power has a wind attribute factor added to it. If the soul power here is grabbed into the body, the wind attribute power will also be absorbed simultaneously. The wind is free. Don't try to trap it in your body. Try to let it pass through your body continuously. Seeing that Qitian's cultivation method was wrong, Meng Shenji reminded him, in this strong wind, Qitian could not stabilize his body, and subconsciously tightened his nerves to avoid being blown away by the strong wind. But when he relaxed his body and mind, his body was no longer shaky as before, but sticky to the ground. This is the flow of wind. Wait, what is this? In Qitian's perception, the surrounding strong winds were like huge whirlpools, which were concretely presented in his mind. His attention was subconsciously focused on the gaps between the whirlpools. Suddenly, he stood up suddenly and punched with all his strength with his right arm. A punch is like cutting off water with a knife, causing a crack in the surrounding air. There is no air at all in this gap, as if an artificial vacuum area has been formed. This is a self-created soul skill. Meng Shenji twitched his eyes and said in surprise, if you want to practice your own soul skills, one of them is to find inspiration. Qitian just reacted to the feeling and punched subconsciously. Unexpectedly, he realized a new soul skill. Although the vacuum just lasted only a short second, Meng Shenji believed that when Qitian mastered this soul skill to perfection, he would create a vacuum force field with a huge range and a very long duration. What an amazing little guy! Meng Shenji said with a sour face. He has lived for so long, but he has never realized the self-created soul skill. It was only the first time for Qitian to come to the Mimicry Training Field, and he took the initiative to approach him when he created his own soul skills. He was really envious of others. Chapter 89 Self-Created Soul Skill, Duanfeng Fist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before comprehending his self-created soul skills, Qitian was able to repel the strong wind around him by relying on deliberate punches. Perhaps, when he punched, he subconsciously recorded his feelings when punching. Combined with today's understanding of the power of the wind attribute, this punch just came naturally. Thank you, Chief Meng Shenji, for your guidance. If I were still trying to fight Feng, I might not be able to understand this punch. Qitian said sincerely. Meng Shenji said angrily, you kid, don't act like a good boy when you get an advantage. This is a self-created soul skill you have learned. You have to give it a name, right? Back then, the Haotian Sect, one of the top 3 sects, was able to reach the top of the continent precisely because of their sect's inherited secret skill, the Chaos Cloak Hammer technique. And this chaotic cloak hammer technique was a top-notch powerhouse in their sect. It was created by the founder. If you can carry forward this soul skill and pass it on in the form of a sect, then I will have witnessed history with my own eyes today. Qitian thought for a moment. Although Qinyan's step was created by him, he learned the core moves from that unknown book. That punch just now was truly a soul skill created by him alone. Let's call it Duanfeng Fist. Meng Shenji murmured, wind-breaking fist. With one punch, the wind breaks. It's a good name, I've remembered it. In the future, I can wait for you to create history, ha ha ha. As he spoke, Meng Shenji turned around and said, the education committee still has many things that I need to deal with, so you can't relax. The Duanfeng Fist has just taken shape. If you can't continue this feeling, this self-created soul skill I will leave you. You don't have to go to today's training, I will help you ask for leave from Teacher Qin. Thank you, Chief Meng Shenji. Qitian thanked him and quickly sat down cross-legged. There are very few students in the mimicry training ground of Jindo Royal Academy. It just so happens that no one is here today. In this clean environment, Qitian's training efficiency has improved a lot. In the beginning, he had to prepare for a long time before he could throw a punch. If he were in battle, the enemy would not give him a chance to prepare his attack. The whole morning passed quietly, and before lunch, Qitian had reduced the forward swing of his punch to less than 2 seconds. But the duration of the vacuum still failed to improve. Breaking all the wind requires me to have enough strength. It seems that if I want to increase the duration of the vacuum, my punch power must be greater. After punching so many times in one breath, he could always get a glimpse of the secret. Complete the event. Congratulations to the host for successfully comprehending the self-created soul skill, wind-breaking fist. The God of War system will provide generous rewards to the host. Congratulations to the host, you have gained the favor of a stranger. The other party will treat you as one of their own and help you unconditionally. Ha! Qitian was dumbfounded. What kind of reward is this? Is the system joking? But if you think about it carefully, this reward may be regarded as the top reward. If this stranger was a powerful title Douluo, then Qitian's future would be much easier and more comfortable. Of course, Qitian doesn't have this mentality either. They have said that they are strangers. If they don't meet, it will be of no use at all. With a sigh, Qitian took out the food from the soul guide, took a few bites, and immediately entered the cultivation state. It has been 2 months since he broke through to the 34th level, and now his soul power is almost accumulated. Only one final step is missing. After a while, the system panel appeared in his mind. Name, Qitian. Rating, Warrior, 60%. Martial Spirit, Double Fists, Double Eyes. Strength, 1630. Spirit, 2000. Soul Power, 35. Soul Ring, Yellow Purple Purple. Special Skills, Self-Created Soul Skills Deliberate Bombing Fist, Qingyun Step, Overlord's True Colors, Duanfeng Fist. On the training ground of the Royal Fighter Team, every afternoon, everyone from Huangdo would come here to train. Why isn't Qitian here? As the vice captain, Dugu Yan has to ensure that every team member is present in the training session. Perhaps, he thinks he is very strong and has forgotten about the training time. Yufeng sneered and said in a strange way. Qitian is not that kind of person. Ye Lingling stopped. Yufeng felt sad and was about to speak when he saw Qin Ming had arrived at the training ground. Upon seeing this, Yu Tianheng stepped forward to report, Teacher Qitian did not arrive at the training ground at the specified time. Unexpectedly, Qin Ming just wrote lightly, okay, I understand. According to yesterday's decision, starting from this afternoon, you will fight against each other. Let me see how your personal strength is. Tianheng, don't worry. You and Qitian are both attack-type soul masters. After he comes, you will have a spar. Ah. Yu Tianheng's expression froze. Isn't Qin Ming very resistant to Qitian? Why did Qin Ming remain indifferent when he complained today? What are you still doing? Get out of the way quickly. Yufeng and Oslo are about to have a discussion. Qin Ming urged. Yu Tianheng stepped back with a strange expression. How could he know that Meng Shenji had asked for leave for Qitian? Since it was the chief who spoke in person, how could Qin Ming have trouble with Qitian over such a trivial matter? Furthermore, Meng Shenji only said that Qitian was practicing, and he never mentioned the matter of self-created soul skills. Soul skills are every soul master's trump card. Self-created soul skills, which can be activated without a soul ring, can produce unexpected effects without the opponent's knowledge. In this case, Meng Shenji has no reason to reveal it in advance. As for Yu Tianheng, he doesn't want to compete with Qitian now. As the captain, once he loses to Qitian, can he still hold on to his current position? Soon after, when the competition between Shimo and Graphite ended, Qitian arrived belatedly. Sorry, I'm late. Qitian apologized. At noon, he had already broken through level 35, but he delayed it for a long time in order to consolidate his self-created soul skills. You must know that the environment of the Mimicry Training Ground is the perfect environment for him to display his self-created soul skills. But in the windless environment of the soul fighting arena, his self-created soul skills may not be useful. After the training just now, although the speed of breaking the wind fist is not as fast as that in the mimic training field, he can still hit it in some extreme environments. Teacher Qitian must have made a breakthrough. We two brothers want to help him consolidate his cultivation. Mo took the initiative. After a soul master breaks through, his all-round attributes will be strengthened. At this time, he needs to go through certain training to control this new strength. The two brothers Mo and Mo were Qitian's little fans themselves, so they were naturally willing to act as sandbags. While Yu Tianheng breathed a sigh of relief, he quickly said generously, since you asked for it, as the captain, I have no reason to compete with you. Okay. But if you come together, I need to evaluate Qitian's specific strength. Qin Ming nodded. Chapter 90 Working Hard Behind the Scenes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This time, Qi Ming finally did what Teacher Hui should do. After the discussion, he made a detailed assessment of everyone's behavior. Yufeng, Oslo, your performance is the worst among all. If I see your performance like this again in 3 days, there will be no need to participate in the spirit battle. Shuremo and Shuremo, your two strengths are stability, but your weaknesses are that you are too steady and lack a certain fighting spirit. As for Qitian and Tianxin, your performance is the one I am more satisfied with so far. You will train on your own next. No one is allowed to be late for the spirit fight tonight. After that, Qi Ming left the training ground. The person Yu Tianheng was competing with just now was De Guyen. The two of them were quite familiar with each other, and it was common for them to give each other tricks. Because of this, Yu Tianheng's performance is certainly remarkable. Everyone, take a rest for a while. I will suggest to Teacher Qin that our competition partner tomorrow will be a Tianwei level teacher or a Tiando level student in the academy. Boss, I support you. Yufeng quickly agreed. Among fighting souls of the same level, he and Oslo had bigger problems, but if they were torturing people, their performance would be extraordinary. Furthermore, it is also very common for those Tianwei-level teachers to intentionally let go in order to increase the confidence of the imperial team. Soon after Yu Tianheng and Qi Ming left, Sun Buyu appeared outside the training ground. Is that Teacher Sun, the Tianji class teacher? Why is he here? Yu Feng, with sharp eyes, asked. Sun Buyu was his and Oslo's former class teacher, and they were relatively familiar with each other. Qitian thought for a moment and then walked out. Among the people present, none were Tianji-level students, and he was the only one who had been in contact with Sun Buyu recently, so he most likely came to see him. What's more, Sun Buyu helped him a lot, so he should go and receive him both emotionally and logically. Didn't Qitian just enter school? Why did Teacher Sun come to see him? De Guyen said, when I returned to school that day, I seemed to see Teacher Sun receiving Qitian. Maybe Teacher Sun needed his help for something. He does not mean that, as the receptionist for freshmen, Sun Buyu must know Qitian's background. Yu Feng and Yu Feng looked at each other, and their minds began to get excited. On the other side, Sun Buyu came to Qitian, and it was indeed something related to the latter. Qitian, I heard the reactions of the students in the class. Did you attack them in the academy? Sun Buyu asked. Teacher Sun, what do you think? Qitian asked back. The group of students who picked on him this morning were around level 26, and they were indeed Tianji level students. I just didn't expect that they were in Sun Buyu's class. I don't believe everything those dudes say. But as a teacher, since the students have already reported the problem, I have to at least ask you for the reason. Qitian spread his hands and told the truth about what happened in the morning. After hearing this, Sun Buyu looked a little ugly and said, Carlo, the leader's name is the young man's name, has a good relationship with His Highness Xuebang. You probably don't know him, but he takes the initiative to cause trouble for you, and he also knows your name. I think it should be under the instruction of Xuebang. Qitian, be careful to avoid getting into trouble by these second-generation ancestors. Avalanche? Qitian was a little confused. To be honest, he has never had any contact with Xuebang, and he doesn't even know what Xuebang looks like, but the other party wants to target him. Faced with Sun Buyu's reminder, although he was confused, he still remembered it in his heart. After all, it is essential to be on guard against others. In the spirit fight that night, the Imperial fighter team won the victory as expected. The chance of encountering a strong team in a team fighting spirit with the Iron Fighting Spirit badge is very slim. Although the Imperial fighting team does not have many tactics, after all, its individual strength is strong, so it is not difficult to win the fighting spirit. In the following period, except for Qitian and Ye Lingling who maintained a complete victory, the others more or less lost in one-on-one and two-on-two soul battles. After the spirit fight ended that day, Yufeng and Oslo were the first to return to the academy, preparing to work behind the scenes. The students at Tiando Royal Academy are all nobles, so the job of patrolling the academy can never be assigned to them. Except for Tiando-level teachers, other teachers will be arranged to patrol. Tonight, Sun Buyu happened to be in the patrol academy team. it was already late at night after the Imperial fighter team finished fighting souls, which was the most likely time to get sleepy. I saw Yu Feng and Osluo approaching Sun Buyu with a dozen of good wine. Teacher Sun, are you free? Sun Buyu said angrily, you are already Tianxin level students, why do you want to come to me now? Yu Feng pretended to be embarrassed and said, Teacher Sun, we didn't learn the theoretical knowledge well because we were in your class at that time. Now that we are in the Imperial battle team, we feel a little strenuous and want to come to you to make up for our lessons. You're bringing alcohol for extra classes? It's been a long time since I last saw Teacher Sunday. We also wanted to visit you on this trip. After all, Sun Buyu has been in the education industry for many years and is already familiar with the rules in the academy. Besides, the teacher's salary is only so much. Any benefits from the nobility are worth half a year's salary. Take the wine brought by Yu Feng as an example. With Sun Buyu's salary, he would have to go without eating or drinking for at least a year to afford it. Of course, even if he had money, he couldn't buy this kind of wine, which was reserved for nobles. After explaining to the other teachers, Sun Buyu left his patrol post and took Yu Feng and the two of them to his teacher's dormitory. At the beginning, Yu Feng and Osluo's questions were all about the theory of soul masters. Gradually, they started chatting about the Imperial fighters. If you ask me, Yu Tianxin is not a captain. If he is asked to be a thug, he will have no problem, but if he is asked to manage the team members and formulate strategies for fighting souls, it would be really unfair to him. Being bombed by the two of them in turn, Sun Buyu was already drunk and unconsciously said a few more things. At the beginning, Yu Tianxin was in Qin Ming's class. At that time, Sun Buyu had a good relationship with Qin Ming, and the two of them often discussed the students they had taken advantage of behind their backs. When talking about Yu Tianxin, Qin Ming said that he was brave and foolhardy and was not suitable to be a commander. After Qin Ming became the leader of the Imperial fighting team, he still practiced this view and specially arranged a deputy captain for this purpose. I just didn't expect that Dugu Yan would actually get along with Yu Tianxin. Teacher Sun, isn't this right? After all, our captain is the successor trained by the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. If he doesn't have the ability to command, their family won't train him, Yu Feng retorted. Sun Buyu emphasized, after all, he has not won yet. Any big family will never train two sect managers. If Yu Tianxin wants to get the true teachings of the family, he must at least compete with his brothers. Win. With that said, Sun Buyu took another sip of wine. Yu Feng and Osluo didn't know these things. They were the eldest sons of their respective families, and the family's property would be inherited by them. Teacher Sun, what do you think of Qitian?